keep this in mind. It's gonna come up. A dead hand. A dead hand. Trying to think of how to start this, but the only thing that kept popping in my head was because my son watches Peppa Pig like all the time, and on Peppa Pig, when the police say hi, not that I'm a police officer, but the police go hello, hello, hello. So that's what I was gonna do, but I got embarrassed. So I was looking on Google Maps yesterday, and I was doing the whole street view thing on my phone, and I was like multitasking. I was rearranging the furniture and sweeping and mopping underneath the couches because it's needed it for a while, and I was watching Tiger King, and I was like fucking around with my phone at the same time. And every once in a while it pops into my head. There's this town like eastish. I think it's eastish of Fresno, called Reedley, California. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but I used to go there all the time because that's where my dad's family's at. Used to go all the time when I was a kid, and it was like one of my favorite places to go because all my cousins were there, and we could basically get away with anything because, like, I don't know what it was. Like, every time we went, there was like a big party, so all the parents were like busy entertaining, or all the dads were outside drinking, so there's always a big party, hella good food, and they used to live on this house that was pretty big. Like, it had a really big backyard, so we could just run, fucking go everywhere. And it was funny because like we would play like cops and robbers or hide and seek, and the house next to them was an empty lot, an overgrown empty lot. And we used to, like, sometimes we'd be like, okay, we're gonna play hide and seek, or we're gonna play cops and robbers, but no going in the empty lot because it was cheating sometimes. But I remember when we'd just fucking hide in there like nothing. And it's crazy because now I think about it and I'm like, dude, what if there's like a fucking snake or like some pervert hiding in the bushes, like waiting to fucking grab one of us. And like literally like there was like a park nearby, and my other cousin literally lived across the street from the park, so we had reason to go that way too. And like I remember they used to say that there was a corner store nearby, and I'm like, oh, okay, like it must be like the one here, because like we literally have a corner store like literally like, and you know how many houses, say like maybe a dozen houses till you reach the corner, and you turn, and the block over there's a corner store, and like 2-3 blocks up there's another corner store. So I was like, I remember when they were like, oh, let's go to the store, and okay, I remember. And dude, this store was not close by. It was like you had to like walk to where the park was, and it was like 10 blocks that way. It was not close at all. It was not close at all. But I remember we used to go there all the time because it was fucking worth it, because they used to have a slush puppy machine. I don't remember if you remember slush puppies, because I feel like I haven't seen one in a really long time. I know there's a place downtown called Webb's Drive-In, which is funny because it's not even a drive-in anymore. But it used to have a slush puppy machine at some point. It doesn't anymore. And it's, I mean, if you guys don't know, it's the one where like the dog's drinking a fucking slushie. And they're so good. But we used to go there and we used to get those, and then we used to get these little styrofoam airplanes that you put together, and they were all modeled after a like an old plane, like an old warplane. And I remember we used to buy those here too, because we used to have them, and me and my brother used to have a shit ton of them. But those things did not last, because obviously the styrofoam, and we were kids and we didn't take care of shit, so everything would just fall apart or get stepped on. But before they lived in that house, they used to live in these apartments, and I'm gonna show you right now. Well, I'm gonna show you some other stuff, and then I'll come to the apartment part. So like I was saying, at the very beginning in the intro, it's a funny story, and it's funny because I'll go onto here and check every once in a really long while to see what's going on. Right now on the computer, I am trying to figure out how to open Google Street View. And I'm in Reedley right now, and when I came on, I noticed Springfield, and that's the road where I was talking about, where my uncle used to live with the big backyard. And I can't seem to find how to turn on the street view right here, because I just wanted to show the house, or see the house again, because it's, I think ever since they moved away from that area and moved into a different area, we've never been in that spot anymore. But anyways, this is me trying to get into the spot, because they literally, like, down where Springfield was is where they lived, and they moved up into this other spot. But one of the things that we used to do was we used to walk all the way from there to here to the we used to walk all the way from there to there, but before that they had lived closer to here, so they've lived like in 3 different areas within this town. So Right now, I'm showing you this furniture town, which is there now. But for a while, it was nothing, you see? And even longer so before that, this Big Lots, this Factory to You, and that furniture town all together used to be a Kmart. And it was a pretty decent sized Kmart, I would say. Probably as big as the one that we used to have here nearby. The one in Ceres. And we used to go there all the time. And I forget what year it closed. That's the garden center, what's left of it. I forgot what year it closed, but I remember we came back. We came here once, like in the back, near the dumpster. And I remember the dumpster being like over here, but it honestly, it could have been over here where they're at. But I remember there was this thing leaning across the dumpster, like just laid up against it. And it was one of those Super Nintendo game display case things by itself. And I remember that we used to, well, not we used to, we took it and we actually, we took it and, because we thought it was like the coolest thing ever because, it was literally like, I'm gonna put a picture right here, but it was one of those like long elliptical things. It literally was like, I'm trying to think, like that one track in F-Zero, where it's literally just a long elliptical. And like, you know, they put the key at the bottom and they slid the thing up, and then there was one game in each case or each compartment. And we took it and we were like, oh, this is hella cool. And I remember we would put it in our room and we'd put like our favorite games in the thing. And it's funny because it would just be the game because we weren't keeping our boxes or anything at that point. But we just literally put them in there and be like, oh, we need them, we're gonna get them. And I remember at one point we moved it into the garage, and it was there forever. And I honestly, I would not be surprised if it was still in there. Like, I've gone in there to look for other things because I know like a bunch of like some stuff we've put in the garage and I've had to go look for it. But I've been in every part of that garage and I think I would have seen it. And there's only one spot where I could think that if it was there, it would still be there. And it's the crawl space. But yeah, I think the crawl space might be where it's at because I know that they started putting some stuff up there. And I don't know. Well, I don't even know because that garage is so fucking leaky. So if anything is up there, it's probably ruined. Just remembered. That's why why I cut off. I remembered that I forgot to take my damn pills. I'm supposed to take them in the morning right away. But like I was saying, the anything up there is probably ruined. But if that shit is somehow still at that house and not ruined, then for sure I am keeping or getting that shit. Because that's like The Super Nintendo is like probably like my favorite console of all time. But yeah, what's it called? It probably is not there, because knowing my dad, he has this habit of it's my Xbox installing everything. My dad has a habit of throwing our shit away. And it's funny because he's a fucking hoarder, hella bad. Like I said, he owns this house, so he has his garage full of shit, and then this garage that wasn't going to be full of shit is now magically full of shit. And I remember too once, and I'm surprised, I remember once I was looking for my, not, it wasn't my like original Game Boy from back in the day, but I had bought an original Game Boy, and I had bought, and then my wife had her Game Boy Color. And I remember that's one of the times when I tore that garage apart looking for them, because I couldn't find them, and I'm like, dude, where are they? And I remember then there was some people living in this house, and then they moved out, and I remember that at some point, when no one was living here, we were keeping stuff in this house like storage. And I don't know how those people lived here for like at least 2 years. That Game Boy and that Game Boy Color or Pocket, whichever one it was, were in the closet the whole time. And these people never touched it. And the only reason I found out that it was still in this house was because I remember one day I was like, I'm going to ask him and see where the fuck, or if he'd even seen this shit. So I told him, hey, have you seen this? And I pulled a picture up of it. Have you seen anything that looks like this in the garage or over here? And he tells me, yeah, I found a bag that had 2 of them. He's on, I didn't think they worked, so I threw them away. And I was fucking pissed, because I even told him, are you fucking serious? Because one wasn't even mine. The other one, I fucking spent hella money on it, because I did. I forgot how many years ago I bought it on, eBay, and it was 2 of them, one with the screen that had come off, like, and then, or like the border of the screen, and then the regular one. And I'd given my brother the other one, and I'd kept the regular one. And I was like, dude, like, you can't even fucking ask. I'm like, it still pisses me off to this day. I'm like, you couldn't have asked, like, hey, what is this? Hey, do you know if this still works? Hey, is this yours? No, it fucking just straight went into the fucking trash. And it wasn't even like it was in the trash can and I could, like, dig it out and, like, clean it. No, because he was cleaning up this house, he had thrown it in the back of his truck, and it already had been dumped at the dump. So there fucking went that. And I got a replacement Pocket or Color, I forget which one it was, of my wife's, but I still have not gotten a replacement original Game Boy, and pisses me off. Not that I need one, because I could play on the Retron 5 or the Game Boy Player or my Super Game Boy, and it's annoying because he'll buy like all this other crap and keep it forever, and even crap that's like not even worth anything. I'm all, but whatever. But yeah, I'm like, I really doubt that that thing is around. If it is, then I'm gonna get it. But if it's not, then I I already knew. I'm not, just because he never keeps any of that stuff. And that's like, that's a whole nother story of my parents and video games. So maybe I'll tell that story a different time. But yeah. So I wanted to go back to this one part. These apartments on the left is where my uncles and aunts used to live. And I remember there's this little opening where you could come into this like little shopping area right there. And you know, that's how we used to come to the Kmart. And then before, like all the way on the other side where that one street was, we used to actually walk all the way over here sometimes, even farther than that store. But we used to come over here because there was all this stuff, and there's a pathway right there, right, that you could come to. And I remember I used to go to this liquor store right here, and I distinctly remember once being in that liquor store going to go buy something and catching a guy stealing candy, and he saw him, and he didn't, and I was like so scared that he was gonna like do something to me. But this JC Mitchell, whatever the fuck this is, we used to come here all the time because, oh no, not that JC Mitchell. That JC Mitchell used to be La Tienda del Dólar. And it was funny because it basically dollar store, nothing was a dollar. But right here, that little part right there used to be an arcade. This was a video rental store where New Look is now. It was a video rental store, and then in this whole back room was about a couple dozen arcade machines, just shoved in there. But yeah, as soon as you walked into that area, it was just lined with arcade machines. And I remember we used to bug everyone for money so we could go play Las Maquinitas. And I remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. And they had the crazy taxi where you sit. And man, it was so much fun. It was like, it wasn't the best arcade, but it was pretty great because it was just right there. Um, the rest of the store was a video store, and then after that, they stopped being a video store and sold like random things and movies. And then the back area had more had pool tables. Then this Me and Ed's, and I like how they crossed out the, or blurred out the pizza like we didn't know what it was. We used to go there all the time too, and we'd buy a pizza and then play NFL Blitz on the machine there. And then over here, this thing used to be a Burger King. It straight up looks like it. And I haven't tried this place, and surprisingly, that Burger King closed down a really long time ago, and it's still there. And I remember because we used to come to it, when we go there, we'd go to Burger King. And then whenever they moved, they literally moved like in front of this thing, like down the street. And we would walk to it all the time. And I remember one day when we went, they're like, oh, they closed the Burger King. And we're like, why? And I swear, and I could not stop fucking laughing when they said it. And I was like, you guys. I'm like, come on. They literally, everyone, the whole rumor, I guess, between all my little cousins was they closed down the Burger King because they found a dead hand. And dude, when they told me, I could not stop fucking laughing because it was the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard of. Not only because it does not make any sense, but a dead hand, really? And I was like, first of all, guys, it's not a dead hand. It's a severed hand. I'm like, because the hands are already dead. I'm like, and saying dead hand is already dumb. I'm like, that's like, I'm like, you can say dead body, but you can't say dead hand. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, that was the rumor that they found the dead hand. And I was like, bruh, come on. I was like, obviously, it wasn't doing good or it got closed for health reasons. But, oh my god. But yeah, that was just one of probably many stories I could tell you about my childhood or my life. Yesterday when I was looking up on Google Street View, I was just like, I'm gonna check to see if this Kmart is anything, because like I said, for the longest time it wasn't anything, and then they took pieces of it to make those two stores. And I even texted my brother and I was like, look, they finally did something. And then I sent him a picture of that super burger drive-in thing that used to be the Burger King. And I was like, you remember the dead hand? And he was fucking laughing because he remembers too. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today was one of the, like I said, many stories I probably have, because we did a lot in that fucking town, and not even just there. Like, a bunch of stuff has happened here too. But I just wanted to tell that story because it's hella funny and just ridiculous to think like a fucking dead hand. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, unless you remember that movie Idle Hands, unless it was that hand that was cut off and they fucking killed it. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do. I'm not gonna tell you to like, comment, subscribe. Even though I said it, I'm not telling you to. But I probably will be trying to remember some other stories and telling them on here because I really like doing this. It was fun. And this video is hella long because I can just go on and on and on. But